YouTube, welcome to the shop. Thomas here, your host. I got a little unboxing today. I'm going to do a review on this, but I'm going to do the unboxing first. I'm not going to show the video until I do it all. But yeah, unfortunately I already opened the box because I thought it was double boxed, but it wasn't, because there's a little hole right here. So I wanted to check it out, but everything seems to be good. But what I got here is a Fein Slugger. They're 9-inch metal cutting circular saw, basically. I also picked up a couple extra blades, or different kinds of blades actually. Nice case, big old plastic case. Got a guide, yeah. Goggles. Let's see. This thing's a beast. It's quite large. So just to give you a little bit of some background, an idea about this saw, I actually didn't even know Fein made a saw like this. I was actually thinking about getting the Milwaukee metal cutting saw like this. They're about the same price, roughly 300 bucks. The one thing I noticed though when I decided to go ahead and purchase one of these things, I was looking on the let's say like Amazon reviews, Northern Tool reviews, some of the tool forums and stuff. One of the things I kept coming across was the I guess the base, the welds that hold the base and stuff together apparently aren't holding up and they keep breaking, and I might not have thought about it too much, but the fact that I kept seeing it everywhere, no matter where I went, yes, there was just too many of the welds breaking. Now, another reason why I decided to go with this instead of the Milwaukee, this was actually like 10 bucks cheaper. It's also about, this is a 2.4 horsepower. The Milwaukee's 1.75 horsepower. That's a big difference. This uses a 9-inch blade versus an 8-inch blade. Couple bonus features that are on this is this actually on the back here. There's a couple switches on the back here. One of them's for a light, which is always nice to have. The other one is for a laser. I've actually never had any tools that had a laser on it, so this is completely new to me. I don't know if I'll be using it that much or not, because typically when I use a saw kind of like this, I usually use a guide of some sort, piece of angle iron, clamp down to it. Works great, but we'll see. Another reason why I decided on this, other than the fact that the welds are breaking on there, is a couple of safety features on this is really nice to have. It has a soft start and also has an electronic brake. Both features with this type of tool is an excellent idea. One other benefit that I didn't really know at the time when I was looking at these things is this is actually a worm drive. So the the motor's in line instead of coming out the side. If you look at the Milwaukee, I mean, it sits out pretty wide, which is a really good feature from what I understand. I've never owned a worm drive. These are popular on the West Coast with framers and circular saws, not so much on the East Coast, but I don't know this to be true or not, but I hear they are more durable, so that is nice. It's quite heavy saw. I actually forget how much it weighs, but it's not typical. It's definitely got some weight to it, which is fine. I mean, you're cutting metal and stuff. You're only pushing it anyways. One more thing I'd like to talk about. I noticed on some of the sites that I was looking at that some people were chewing up some blades. I haven't even used this yet, but the blade that comes with this is a mild cutting blade, but it's a 40 tooth, so you really don't want to do thin stock. What do I mean by thin stock? You probably don't want to do anything under a 1/4 inch. That's the reason why I got a couple extra blades. They actually make a thin stock blade, and it has 60 teeth instead of 40. It doesn't have a minimum on it. I would imagine an 1/8 inch would probably be the minimum, but the maximum's 1/8 inch. Its maximum's 8 millimeter. If I remember right, I want to say that's 5/16, but I could be wrong. I can't remember off the top of my head. But so you want to make sure that if you're going to be cutting anything under a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch or whatever, you want to get that other saw blade. And basically the reason why, if the saw blade in there, the 40 tooth, the gap in between the two teeth, if you have too thin of a part going in there that you're trying to cut, it's just going to shear the teeth right off. So obviously you don't want that. It has all your basic features of a circular saw, so you can bevel and everything. It's quite easy, the adjustments. They're just levers, so not even a problem. Not sure what that one's for, actually. That's a blade lock. As far as the chips, this is like the Milwaukee. It has a chip collector, and you just undo the little screw right here and pull forward, and there you go. I'm not sure what that's made out of. I don't know if that's magnesium or aluminum, but it looks like a steel piece and some plastic and aluminum. I don't know. It's hard to say. There we go. I just noticed another little safety feature on this that's pretty cool, and it's not even mentioned anywhere that I can see, but it actually has a circuit breaker. That's freaking awesome. Nice. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put this thing together and cut some pieces, and then I don't know, probably, yeah, actually that piece, you can't see it, but there's a great big piece of I think that's 1/2 inch plates right there that I'm going to be cutting up, and also some tubing and everything. Yeah, let's get to it. As you can see, these things are quite different. That's your typical 7 1/4 inch saw, and just kind of give you an idea of what I meant. See how this motor goes out to the side. The Milwaukee's even larger because of the size of the motor, but the Fein right here, it get that out of the way, goes to the side. One more thing I'd like to mention, and I don't know this to be true because I haven't contacted Slugger or Fein about this, But you know, most of the time when you use a circular saw like the Makita right there, you typically pull the blade in and only let it expose what you need plus a little tiny bit, so it clears it. From what I understand with these metal cutting saws, you don't want to do that. You want it for the most part left down. Another note while I'm thinking about it, as far as the consumables, the blades themselves, you know, they're running at, from what I could tell, anywhere from like $55 up. They seem to be in about the same ballpark as, say, MK and the Milwaukee. I'm actually going to try, I think it's Olsen. I think that's who it is. They make some metal cutting blade, 9-inch metal cutting blades that are about $35. So I might give them a try. And also, what I'm thinking about it, the Arbor on this thing is 25.4 or 1 inch. So it doesn't seem like it's a big deal to find consumables, blades and stuff for this. As far as I could tell, MK will fit on this, the Milwaukees will fit on this, of course Fein Slugger will fit on this, the Olsens, Evolution. And I'm sure some of you guys are probably wondering why I didn't look at Evolution. I actually did look at Evolution, and I just, everything that I was seeing and reading, it's basically a glorified circular saw, from what I could tell. It may not be, but there's too many negative reviews for something that expensive. Alright, so we're going to do a blade change, because I'm going to start off with some thin stock, some actually some 1/8 inch or 1 inch tubing, 1/8 inch wall. So we're going to start off with that. First thing you do is go ahead and open up the guard all the way, and now, as you can see, you can get to the nut and the washer, which is actually really simple. You're going to need the included wrench and the included Allen key. Pull it up, slide it out. Stick that to the side. I want my thin steel cutting blade. Doing something wrong. That's what I was doing off. Okay. Reinstall the washer. Only goes in one way. By the way, that lever I thought was the brake for the so you could change the blade, is actually so you don't have to have your hands down there, and you can just open the fence from you know where your hand's already sitting at anyway, so you don't have to put your hand near it. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Another little safety feature. And there we go. That's pretty simple. There's a little bit of grease on that track, so when you're changing it, you're probably going to get some grease on you. Just so you know, this actually has a button lock on the side, so it won't turn on until you hit that button. Alright, so we're gonna try some 1-inch plate here and see how it does on the 1-inch plate. The funny thing is, this blade, according to the website, it's really only supposed to be good up to a 1/2 inch, which is ridiculous to me. This thing is, what, 2.5 horsepower, and they don't have a blade specifically for anything thicker, which, like I said, boggles the mind if you think about it. So you know, I've watched a couple reviews on the Milwaukee, you know, from Chucky 2009, and you know, that thing's probably half as powerful as this, and it does 1-inch plate. So hopefully this is going to do 1-inch plate, but I guess we'll find out here in a second. Get my earplugs in. Another thing too, that I've been having a problem with, I think I've already mentioned this, but I can't remember. It's got a little lever to pull the guard up, but as you can see, it only goes halfway up, which is, when you're trying to do something on the edge here, that guard basically gets stuck on the edge, so you have to force it through. It's not fun, and I mean, it's a lot of resistance until it gets over it. So just be aware of that. seems to do pretty all right. I will say this, when you're cutting thicker stuff, that guard fills up, or the chip collector fills up really quickly. I don't know if you could see, when it got to the guard, I kind of lifted it up a little bit, and that helps a little bit because it literally just gets stuck right there, and there's just nothing you can do. But you can see it's cold, or it's warm, it's not hot, and there's no burr. So it'll definitely do more than a 1/2 inch, even though they don't recommend it. I don't know why. Probably because of the longevity, I don't know. But I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of having something so powerful and not be able to do the actual cutting capacity that it, that it says on the website, which, if I remember right, it's almost 3 inches. So yeah, I'm going to rotate this and do these other 4 sides. This is a plinth for my vise over here. And then after that, we're going to do a piece. I'm going to change the blade and put the thin stock blade on and cut some 1/8 inch plate. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Just so you know, I bought this thing, I think October 2018. It's now June 2019. So I've been using this for a very long time now, many months anyways. And it's an absolute beast. I love it. The only thing that I don't like about it's just nitpicking. I've already mentioned it before, and that's basically the guard. As you can see, it only goes halfway. I wish it would go a little further. I don't even know if that would even make a difference or not, but when you get to it, you gotta lean the back up to get over the edge. And the only other thing that and it's nothing that anyone can do about it, it's just the weight of the saw. And depending on how crappy or how much crud is on your substrate that you're cutting and stuff, there's some resistance. So you got to kind of push through it. And then other than that, this thing's just a beast. It's like I said, it's got plenty of power. It's cut everything that I've tried to cut with it. But I would recommend one thing. Keep an eye on that chip thing, that chip collector, because it collects chips pretty quick, and that's where all the heat is in the chips. It's not in the steel. It's not in the saw blade. So this thing gets warm really quick. So it's best to empty it as much as possible. But and one thing also I wanted to add to this that I didn't mention before, on the side, there's a little bolt that you can actually add lubricants to the shaft, because this is a worm gear. So that's should help longevity. And so far so good. I like this thing so much that I brought its brother or sister, however you want to look at it, the Fein chop saw, and I think I bought it a month after I bought this, and just I'm getting ready to do a review on that as well. Same thing. It's just an awesome thing. Yeah, so I mean, I highly recommend it. It's made well. The plastic's nice. As far as the laser and the light, I've used the laser a couple times, and I mean a couple times. And that's just to see if I'm basically on mark. It seems to be pretty accurate. As far as the light, I can't even tell when it's on. It's mainly because I've got so much light in here. I'm sure if I was, outside or at a different shop or something, that I might notice it more. But as it is, I don't. It hasn't come in handy yet. But that doesn't mean it won't. And I'd like to say it again, even though I've mentioned it several times in the video. Make sure you have the right tooth count for the stock that you're trying to cut, because that'll make a huge huge difference. If you don't have the right blade on there, it's not gonna you're gonna shear off teeth basically. If you have too thin a stock for the number of teeth, it's gonna take the teeth off. So it's looking a little worse for wear right now because I did some painting in here and I forgot to cover the damn thing, so it's got some overspray and stuff all over it. But you know, it's not gonna hurt it. So yeah, I highly recommend this saw. It's a great saw. Like I said, I've got a couple Fein products, and everything I've got from Fein is excellent. And I think I'll be pretty happy with this. It saves so much time. And the fact is that I can do stuff that I haven't been able to do. I mean, as far as stock thicknesses and stuff, because before what I was using was a jigsaw to cut things, but you can only cut so many things with a jigsaw, and it takes freaking forever. And I don't have an air compressor, so I can't. I mean, I have a small air compressor, but I don't have enough space for something big enough for a plasma cutter and stuff like that. One day I'd like to have a plasma cutter, but that's in the future. But you know, one of the good things about a saw like this is you don't have to worry about cleaning up afterwards. It's, you know, straight from the cut. You can go ahead and start welding and stuff. There's nothing to clean up. It's pretty amazing. It's fairly fast depending on the thickness of the stock. So yeah, this is just an excellent piece of equipment. And I know some of you guys and gals are probably wondering why for this channel, because mainly this channel is more about electronics and stuff, but you know, this is just another one of my hobbies, is fabricating and metalworking and stuff. And also one of the reasons why I wanted to get this and the chop saws, because in the future I'm wanting to actually make some metal furniture. In other words, I'd like to make me a couch, a computer workstation, even a platform type bed, and some shelving and stuff to go with the workstation and stuff. And I'm going to be making it all out of metal and probably glass. So that's another reason why I've got this. And I hope to, hopefully, it's probably going to be next year before I start that. But I mean, I'll be making videos of those projects as well. So I think some of you might find that interesting, because I'm basically going to be, I used to do some woodworking, and I like mission style and like green and Floyd type stuff. So it's, but I want to, instead of using wood, I'm going to be using metal, and this is going to help tremendously in those projects. So stay tuned for that. And if you like it, you know, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to you next time.